Welcome back to the Flaherty Solutions Podcast. My name's Kevin Flaherty, and this is Erin Flaherty sitting right next to me. Today, we are going to be talking about becoming a better communicator. This applies everywhere. We're primarily talking about it for work, but at home, it is also very helpful when you're talking with your spouse or significant other or your children. So we're going to talk about effective communication. And it is January 3rd, and Kevin has already failed at some of his 2020 goals. So we're going to talk about what I've failed at already and what plans, this is going to be my therapy couch, what plans to enact immediate change so I can start kicking butt at my 2020 goals.
Love it.
All right. And Erin, before we get started, can you tell me a little bit about Flaherty Solutions franchise?
This podcast is brought to you by the Flaherty Solutions franchise. But first, I'm going to talk about Flaherty Solutions, bookkeeping for business. It is tax season, y'all, which means that 2019 is done. Are your books ready to do taxes? How do they look? Do you know how you did? Are they accurate? Don't know. So if they are not, or if you're not sure, or if it's just something you haven't even thought about, there are people who don't have books at all for 2019 and it's over. Give us a call, 443-914-4004, or visit us at www.flaherty-solutions.com. We've got you covered all the way from a clean set of financials all the way up to a full remote accounting department so that those books look nice and you're ready to file taxes.
Doing it all now. Rocking and rolling, doing it all. I thought you were going to talk about the franchise, not your actual. I love it
today.
Though.
It's tax season.
It's tax season, people. Hunker down.
They
Businesses.
can follow our link. If they go to flahertysolutions.com, flaherty-solutions.com, they can click on franchise with us and find more about that. So if you too want to operate a multi-six-figure business, around your life and what matters most to you, you can talk about owning a franchise with us as well.
Awesome. I love it.
Thanks.
So when I think about the franchise, I'm so jonesed about the franchise. I don't know. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I'm so jonesed isn't just because that would be awesome. And Erin's already sold franchises for 2020, so it's already taking off. But I know Erin, and I know what really drives the business. And yes, money is a big driver, but Erin has this way of changing people's lives. And I love seeing that in action with her current team around her. But I just already envision, you know how I'm always thinking all over the place.
80 steps ahead.
Oh, I'm all over the place. And I just look forward to the day where we're sitting at dinner and you tell me, hey, our Texas team just hired 3 people and they are having the best Christmas of their life. Or the Texas team was able to donate to the backpack program to feed children. That's what Erin says, it's money that motivates her. But if you put somebody that needs a job, needs an opportunity, Erin's going to create the most efficient, awesome job for that person, and they love getting out of bed to do it.
Oh, I had no idea he was going to say this, so thank you.
So I was just analyzing on the drive home. It's I just get so excited. The franchises, the whole experience is so amazing because I've seen her in action and what she does with turning people's lives into they just smile and they cry. I'm trying to get you to cry. It might happen. Probably not today.
No, but we just our most recent franchise is not 1, but 2 Texas locations. So I think that's why Texas is on your brain.
Yeah, Texas is always on my brain. They cook great food down there. I can't wait to find an excuse to go down there and visit the franchise and eat some brisket. All right, I want to become a better communicator. It has definitely not been one of my strengths. People know I'm a good talker because I talk a lot. But I would say I'm not a fantastic communicator. Actually,
it doesn't come naturally.
No, because I don't like having tough conversations.
Right.
You can have a tough conversation, no problem. I can't stand conflict. Mm-hmm. And so walk me through things, especially at work. All right, maybe we leave the home life. Let's not maybe talk. No, we can talk about home life.
It doesn't matter. If it comes up, it comes up. Yeah. But I think for me, people think it's tough conversations, but for me, having a tough conversation is way easier and more comfortable than tension in the air. Because I can read energy. I mean,
Okay.
Can you feel when you're at odds with someone?
I love the tension. I don't have to have that conversation to get out of the tension.
So you would rather keep the tension forever?
Let's keep it going, people.
Really?
Well, no, I don't. But I don't like conflict that much that it's painful to try to get through that tough conversation.
Okay.
Let's sweep it under the rug.
Yes. The constant tension for you is more comfortable than the uncomfortable conversation.
I've grown to thrive off of it.
See, I don't get that because so you're suffering every moment for something that can be squashed in 5 minutes.
Yes.
And so for me, if I need to have a tough conversation with someone, it either is going to get better, the tension is going to get better, or we're going to decide we can't have this relationship or this situation or this can't happen. So it's going to move me forward to something clearer and better.
See, and I think where the difference lies is before you get into any type of business relationship with anyone, you set the ground rules very clear right from the get-go. Where I'm a sure person, sure, let's just work together.
Do you overpromise?
I don't overpromise. We just don't set guidelines of what expectations are. Like, I want you to do X, Y, Z. It's like, hey, let's work together. Like, we work well together. Let's just do this. And then 2 weeks go by and I'm supposed to be handling this and now I'm handling all of it. What are you doing? Why aren't you helping with this process? Mm-hmm. And I don't set the guidelines. When someone works for you, they know exactly what's expected of them. And I am getting better at expressing exactly what I want from our working relationship or just corporate America, how I want my office to be. I express that more and more. And I have had really uncomfortable conversations at work in the past 2 years where I used to not say stuff. And for me to get it out, I literally say, I'm just going to blurt this out. It might not sound nice, but I'm just going to blurt it out. And then I say whatever I want. And you don't try to offend people, but you just speak very matter of fact. This is what I want. Why isn't this happening?
Right. And I think you have a good point that when you start any sort of relationship with somebody, whether it's a significant other or a work relationship, the expectations have to be set up front, especially if there's money exchange. If I'm paying an employee to do something, you're going to be sure I'm going to express what I expect. You know what I mean? Because it's a contract. Yeah. There's money involved. I'm paying you. You're working for me. Yep. So this is what is going to be done for said money. Yes. So I think you're right. Like setting it from the get-go and then moving forward, following up on, hey, remember that agreement we had? You know, this is being done, but this isn't. Yes. So then it's easy. Yes. Then it's not about feelings and it's not about like what kind of mood I'm in today. Yeah. It's are we still in agreement? Yeah. About this. And I've been reading a lot of personal development books lately, and across the board, I've been seeing the importance of not talking behind somebody's back, because work can be, it's especially in large companies, I feel like. Yeah. Work, maybe small companies too, work can be a really big petri dish for backstabbing and just drama and gossip. Yeah, so good. Other stuff that you love. I used to call Kevin.
Get my Friday night ready with all this.
I used to call Kevin Regina George.
Still does.
Who is the mean girl, the classic mean girl from Mean Girls, played by Rachel McAdams.
I was actually going to have my, you think I'm pretty, mug.
Oh, mug. And I even got you a shirt. It was personally victimized by Regina George. It was your Father's Day gift one year.
That's right. I don't know why I was wearing it. Everybody else should have been wearing it.
That is true. So I've been reading a lot about how if you're saying something behind someone's back, you need to be saying it to their face. And you need to say it in a transparent way that's going to help everybody. Yes. You know, not you come into work and you have a bad attitude, but just polishing it up, but so that it's frank. Yeah. And so catch yourself. If you're talking about someone at work, it means that they need to be spoken to directly. And don't sugarcoat it and be like, some of us are misspelling emails. Be like, hey, by the way, our professional appearance is important.
Yes.
I've noticed that you use the wrong use of the word your. So
Yes.
just letting you know it's this or this, and that's it.
I'm really good at,
I
some
know.
of us.
I know. I know. And it's not right. And if the job is not right for that person, you're doing that person a disservice by not being honest with them, so that they can't go live their lives.
This is so good. Like, this is just years of entrepreneurship and managing. Like, I feel like all the businesses I've run have been sole proprietor. Well, I'm owner, operator, everything. I'm not really
chief cook, bottle washer.
Thanks. I'm a dish scrubber.
You are a cook.
I am a cook. But my point is, I don't manage people. And I've always, in the back of my mind, for some reason, want to manage people. I don't know why, because it seems like I'm more babysitting these days from everybody I talk to. But you've effectively managed people. People on your team have a great open door policy with you. If they're looking for other opportunities, that's an open conversation.
Yes, I am floored and so grateful when people on my team say that they're possibly looking for other employment. Because I feel like that means I have communicated effectively, and they're not afraid that I'm going to go behind them.
And when they don't find, sometimes they find other opportunities, but when they realize the opportunity they have with you, they like go from being a 100% on-board employee to being a 200%.
That has happened.
Where they're just like, now the vision, now all these corporate emails, even though yours aren't really corporate, they go out, it's just everyone's on board and they see the big picture. They see why they want to be part of this. So
you're really pumping me up today.
I am. So I gotta stop saying so, because I just came from Toastmasters. If anyone wants to become a better presenter, want to get behind the camera more, want to do a podcast, want to do anything in your life where you're in front of people, I do Toastmasters. And we do our Toastmasters meeting. It's a group of people that they get together and practice giving speeches. And yes, that sounds horrible. And I was good at giving speeches, and I still went. And for the first year, I didn't want to go, even though I was a rock star at it. I love going to it now. It's on Fridays, every other Friday, and I'm zonked by the end of the week. But hearing people give speeches, going up and giving speeches, you're going to find a new cloud nine of energy. And I just came from Toastmasters, so my energy is like...
Oh, awesome.
Super
and
high.
People give you energy.
People give me energy. We had great speeches today. People like knocked it out of the park. You could hear a pin drop. That's how good the speeches were. People were hanging on every word. And these are people that don't want to speak. They're like super nervous. You can't even tell. We're all nervous. But now I've been doing it for 3 years. Like I said, I was a good presenter beforehand. Now I feel like I could do a TV talk show where I just like own the audience and I thrive off of that.
It's so interesting how you'd think, oh, if I'm a good presenter, I'm a good communicator, and it's and I'm not a polished communicator. I say and so and Hannah gives me trouble for that all the time. But like I'm not a great presenter because I haven't worked on that skill.
Yes.
So one doesn't mean that you're.
No, I'm a great cruise director. But you don't see the cruise director resolving conflict. He says, go somewhere else, or she says, go somewhere else. I just tell everybody where they need to be, what they need to be doing. But if you want to start some conflict, you talk to her.
Well, and one more point about communicating with employees, especially to reports. It's got to be in writing. And it's got to be measurable, because if you're just like, oh, I want you to run the la-da-da department, and there aren't specifications of what that means. Like, what are your duties? What are you doing on Mondays? What are you doing on Tuesdays? Is there something that needs to be done every other Wednesday? It has to be in writing.
Okay, so I just hire somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
As an employee.
Because
that's different.
Where do I start? What do I start on that piece of paper?
Well, offer letter is number one.
Well, after that.
Okay,
like
after
now,
that, job description?
Yeah.
Well, and I'm on the spot, and I haven't looked at a job description in a while, but it talks about the necessary skills for that job description. So what you need, is there any heavy lifting? Because If you have someone who has physical limitations, then you can't be like, okay, well, we're hiring you to do this job. You have to lift 50 pounds.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm a paraplegic. I can't, so physical requirements, skill set that's required going into the job, like what you already have when you're going into the job, and then responsibilities. And we have a job description, but then we also have expectations for the bookkeepers where by the 10th to the 15th of every single month, they're reconciling their accounts for the prior month. Like it is cut and dry. And if you are not, if you're not doing that or meeting your deadlines, we have grounds to terminate or discipline or terminate. We also have an employee handbook talking about the policies about the inner workings of the company. So you've got your job description that talks about what you're supposed to do here and when you're supposed to do it. But then you have the employee handbook that says how you can treat people, what you can say to people, what you can put on social media. We also have a non-disclosure, non-compete. So it's very clear where if there's violations, it's not just me being rude. You're in violation of something that
there's something you can point to on Monday morning. Then it's not, oh, Erin's in a mood today. It is here. Let's go over your job description. You are not meeting, step 1 and 2 and step 7.
Well, and you don't have to have every conversation with the job description in hand. That's there if you need it. But normally, if it's clear enough, you're just able to mention it. Like, hey, I noticed that you didn't submit your work by the 15th. We need to do that. So normally you don't have to bring out the document, but it is there.
I'm bringing out the document.
I mean, it could just be a conversation.
Captain No Fun is at the helm, people.
But we've implemented a policy if work isn't done by, and it's the same deadline every month. It's not like it's a surprise. If it's not done, they don't get paid on it. If it's not done on time, we dock pay.
That's a motivator.
It is what it is. If it's within their control. If we're waiting for something from a client, then they get paid.
All right, there's a little. All right, so I need to be a better communicator. That's for sure.
You're getting better.
We're getting better. I'm getting better. I should say I. See, that's something I do. I say we.
Oh, because it's passive aggressive.
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
it is.
It is. I'm not going to be passive aggressive if you being passive aggressive.
You're like, I was stuck it in there, folks.
You're being passive.
I was that close to sneaking it in there. Oh my goodness. All right, next topic. It is January 3rd, 2:42 in the afternoon. That's right, 2:42 in the afternoon. And I'm already failing at my big 2020 goals. What do I mean by failing? I'm literally I'm paralyzed. I feel like I set these huge goals and I'm just overwhelmed. Which one do I attack first? So priority number 1 for me in 2020 is to go back to having a laser focus on my finance business. Last year, everything was great. No issues with finance or clients or anything like that, but I still felt like I want to be doing more. And it didn't take top priority. So in 2020, I want that to be just right again, finance, top priority. Second priority is, second and third is between the podcast, Flaherty Solutions podcast, and my YouTube channel, Comparison Cooking. Right now it's Comparison Cooking, but next week it'll be the podcast. So now I have my finance ball up in the air. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can see the hand motions for the podcast. I'm putting my hands up in the air, juggling balls. And when you're juggling balls, you can only juggle so many. And I'm caught between, all right, it's Wednesday. I'm focusing on YouTube right now at 3:30 in the afternoon till 6 o'clock at night. Oh, wait a second, a client just called. All right, so client takes priority. Now I got an Instagram message about the podcast and somebody wants us to, give them a shout out on their Instagram page. Yada, yada, yada. You can see how much we're juggling. Most people, they see a YouTube, they see a podcast, they just think it pops up. No, you have to promote that on Facebook. You got to promote it on Instagram. We have a blog. We have to update the blog. We have to do all these steps. It is a second full-time job. And we can handle it, but I am doing a poor job handling it. Because for me, you can only do so many things well. And something always has to give. I haven't even said family in there. I gotta fit in family. Like my as our kids get off the bus, I wanna be a present parent. So then that's another thing that Do you have your phone in your hand? Do you not? Are you failing at being a parent? All these struggles are there. So I need to right this ship as soon as possible and get my priorities straight. And I have my priorities straight, but it's the time management aspect of it that I am failing. And that's the balls in the air and the juggling. So I didn't pose a question, but I'll try to pose a question now. That was just a long rant. Is to effectively reach all your 2020 goals, how are you prioritizing your goals and your time?
So, a really good question. I think you just said that your top priority for 2020 is getting back into your finance business.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I don't think it's specific enough. So I think you need your revenue goals, which you might already have.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the time management, and I'm saying this because family is a goal for all of us, for both of us, that's definitely a goal. I think it really needs to be business hours is finance.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think you will feel much better if you're focusing Monday through Friday, 8 to 5-ish, that's finance.
Yeah.
Because that's when most people are going to think that you're working on finance, and and if they call you at 6:30, they're not gonna expect an answer. Now you might, because that's your number one priority this year.
Yeah. And it's always like finance is on my brain.
Right.
Like,
so I think your full-time job is finance this year.
Yeah.
And I think that when the kids are home, you designate quality time blocks. Me, I like the 5-minute blocks with the kids, where you commit to Parker wakes up, you're there for her for 5 minutes. She comes off the bus, you're there for her for 5 minutes. And anything beyond that can be bonus, but you at least know that you're doing and you don't have to do 5 minutes, you can do your own thing.
Yeah.
But at those points, you are dad, and that's all you are, and your phone is away.
Yeah.
And on weekends, let's be honest, the weekends are long. That's where we can fit in Comparison Cooking, Flaherty Solutions podcast.
Ooh.
Is my and family. We're gonna have blocks of family time.
You guys are about to get interrupted with kids on this podcast like no other on the weekends.
It's fine, but I think if that's your priority, then that's your full-time job, and you're not split. Because
and I don't even think it goes as far as that. It's more. I think one of my biggest challenges is how easily I get distracted. Where, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 is typical finance hours. That's when the market's open. Well, 9:30 to 4. But at 6:30, after I've spent time with the family, and it's like, all right, it's time to spend the next 45 minutes on YouTube. And then I pop open YouTube and I see like stupid videos about Star Wars. And instead of getting right into my cooking, I'll be like, well, yeah, what did ever happen to Han Solo and the droids? And I get distracted. So for me, but on top of everything you said, is my distractions. Like I think I need to delete all the video games off my phone. I need to.
Notifications are big, and don't put notifications.
I don't know. Are people out there, comment down below, are you just a ball of distraction? Because I feel with the way our phones are set up, our TVs are set up, it is distraction after distraction. It used to be like, this is interesting, like Britney Spears shaved her head. Oh no, that was 10 years ago, but I'm still reading this article because it popped up on my phone. How are you managing those distractions to help you be more productive?
Are you writing your goals down every day?
For the most part, yeah. Look at that face. Look at
For
that.
the most part. Are you or aren't you?
When I have
every
my notebook.
Single day.
When I have my notebook. I don't always have it.
So how often is that?
Like every other day. I said I was going on a therapy couch, not the cross. Good Lord.
If you're writing your goals down every day,
those goals don't work for me.
In the present tense.
Well,
see?
But
if you're writing them down every single day.
Rachel Hollis, come to my house and show me how to write these goals down because
No.
I do it, Rachel, and it's just not my cup of tea.
Okay, so when you do it, it forces you when something pops up like a Baby Yoda video.
See, you do know. You know about Baby Yoda.
I have a soon-to-be teenager. So if a video pops up, when you are writing your goals down every single day at the beginning of every day, and you know which one you only should focus on one goal at a time. You can have other goals, but you need to have you just told me it's finance. So that's your one goal. You cannot do many things well. You can focus on one thing at a time. So if you're writing them down every day and you know finance is the number one, when something pops up, you'll get into a habit of, is this moving me toward that number one goal? You're focusing on one thing. Is this finance? No, it's Baby Yoda. It's not finance. It's like you just get into a habit. And so.
I don't know. So for me, the goals. Who's the guy that did the MF CEO project?
Oh my gosh.
He's a multimillionaire. He made like 300 million selling supplements, and he didn't do it overnight, but everybody thinks he did. It took him like 15 years.
I don't know.
And he's just a loud talker, curses a ton, and he has a write down 5 things you want to do that day. Mm-hmm. And I think I need to go back to that because that was more effective for me than writing down Rachel's.
Write down something.
Yeah.
But if you're not writing down something every day to keep you focused, and everything needs to have a priority. So sometimes I'll write down my list and I'll number them. One, this is first. This is,
So that's all right. Everybody, thank you for sitting on the therapy couch with me today. That's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to writing the 5 things I want to accomplish that day. And then that will make my day feel fulfilled. Every day. I want to get these 5 things done. Once I get them done, whether it's 9:30 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon or 9 at night, I've had a fulfilled day. I feel accomplished. So that we'll check back in.
What do you think about the schedule?
What schedule?
Full-time finance and weekend warrior for your side hustles and family touch points.
With how efficient the finance practice is set up now, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is a great, if I go 5 days a week, I'm stretching for things to do. Mm-hmm. And it's really gotten it down to, I have the clients I want to work with, I have the clients I want to prospect with, I only need 4 days a week to do that. Okay. So then day 5 in the middle there gives me a mental break. Mm-hmm. You gotta have a mental break, especially with all those numbers. You guys seen Wolf of Wall Street? I mean, it's numbers all day. You gotta have outlets, and mine aren't gonna be hookers and cocaine. I'm just a honest family man. Sorry, if you've seen Wolf of Wall Street, you'll get the reference. It's not Long Island here. It's just Maryland. Like the Bank Financial Advisor, Wolf of Wall Street would be the boringest movie anyone's ever watched. All right, since I managed to say hookers and cocaine, I think we should wrap up the...
Okay. It's not a podcast until you say hookers and cocaine. And we can't say hell of a good holidays anymore, so... And we're not going to say Happy New Year because I really can't stand when people say it until March.
Yeah. Okay, it's done, people. Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's done. Just find a new line or don't say anything at all.
Yeah, just say hi.
Hi.
How are you? All right, we're out, people. Have a great day.
Thank you.